Good morning, Mr. Burrell's Landscaping 1 and 2 class. Today is the day before we start class, September 5th. And we're going to take a look at the beginning of the plant growing process, which is the whole idea of plants being pollinated. And so one of the great pollinators is bees. And right here we have a home apiary where my wife and I raise bees that make honey that we usually just give as gifts. So we're going to take a look just quickly at the bee making or the honey making process. And so I'll get my hood on here to protect myself along with the other rest of my clothes so I can work with the bees, and we'll take a closer look. You can cut it off there. Have to run the zipper all the way around because the bees can really get in there if they find any open places to enter. Kind of hard to do. Closed all the way. Right. See how this smoker's doing? Smoker's still going good. I have one more thing I need to put on because once I start working with the hive, the bees will start really showing up, and that's to put on my gloves. But the smoker is what's going to help keep the bees calm while I work with them. So either a smoker like this, which in here I put dried leaves and pine needles, or even sugar water will also calm them down. Okay, so we have 3 separate hives here. 2 of them are new ones. This was the original hive, and once they get crowded, you have 50 to 60,000 bees in each hive, but once they get crowded, sometimes they'll lay another queen and take half of the hive with them. Well, we captured that hive when it swarmed, and we put it in a bucket and we dumped it in here with the new queen to create a new hive. So let's take a look inside. You've got to oftentimes break a seal, which the bees make with something called propolis. And you can see we've got this board which provides ventilation. Let's see if we can let's use the smoker. Calm them down a little bit. See, they're early morning, fairly early in the morning, so they're not so active right now. Put a little bit of smoke down here too.
You just leave it at the bottom.
Into the opening. And you can see how we've also limited with this how many bees can go in and out of there. So now let's take off this cover, which also insulates the hive in summer and winter. You can see we're starting to run into a few bees there. And this is the Italian honeybee. This is the one that makes the honey that we're used to buying in the store. and it can produce quite a bit of honey in 1 year. Upwards of 100 pounds, oftentimes more than 200 pounds, but we'll leave some of the honey in the hive because what's the honey for beyond feeding the young brood? It's also for helping the bees get through the winter months. So now we've opened up what's called this super, and inside we have these frames. And this is what the bees build their comb on. Let's loosen one up here. And it doesn't look like we have a lot of activity on this one yet. So there's not much happening there, but you can see this kind of honeycomb on there. Let's find one that's got a little bit more going on. We may need to take off this frame and go down a frame. These are
the hive body.
Or rather body, this hive body. Take this one off. I think we're going to need to take this one off too. This is a young hive, so they haven't really got the numbers up yet. So again, we're going to break that seal. Now we're getting somewhere. And we'll take a look in here. See, I'll probably need to smoke them a little bit. Keeps them calm, soothes them, keeps them from getting quite so riled up. All right. Let's see if we can find a good one this time. Looks like I'm going to have to break this one loose. This propolis that they create is kind of like a super glue made with honey and flower bud and pine resin, different tree resins. Let's give it another try. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you, dear. That's my lovely wife there, Beth, who's actually even more of a beekeeper than I am. Here we go. So we're seeing quite a bit of activity. So they're building the honeycomb up, and they'll be laying eggs in there.
It's an egg-laying chamber.
Egg-laying chamber, also known as a brood chamber. So, like I mentioned, 50 to 60,000 bees in a single hive, and somewhere among them is that one queen.
Egg cells in here that they've
There's the egg cells.
created. It's getting the light a little bit with that.
Okay. And what the bees are going to do, the worker bees, when they go out, is they're going to collect pollen and flower nectar and bring that back to feed the brood or the young bee larva and pupa to create, of course, new bees. So somewhere in there is a queen. She's about twice the size of the others. Bring another one up. But it's quite an active thing. And you can see we have about 8 to 10 of these frames.
10 per hive box.
10 per hive box. Some people use less, some people use more, but you want them spaced evenly, and the reason for that is so that as they build the comb, it'll be built kind of
it stays in the frame.
Yeah, and it's easier to work with and more level. Take one more up and take another look at this one. Very, very active. There we
Another
go.
egg-laying chamber.
So if we wanted to, we
Need to
could
smoke those puppies.
we
They're
could
getting
use some
upset.
smoke just to kind of keep them calm.
Smoke
They
me too.
start to get aggravated a little bit. Smoking my wife. There you go.
Smoke the front, please.
Okay, let's do this.
I think they're ready to get tucked back in.
Okay, let's put them back in. So, get an idea that I haven't gotten stung yet. The bees are really, with the bee suit on, you're fairly well protected. And the Italian honeybee overall is a kind of an easier bee to work with. There's lots of different species of bees, but this is the one that most of our honey producers work with. So we're going to put it back together.
We're going to leave the other one off because it's not really doing anything.
We'll leave that other one off and just put this board up top here. And again, provide some ventilation with the hole in it, but yeah, it keeps it,
The top cover.
helps to keep the hive either cool or warm. And then we put this takes the fiberglass cover. And as we move into fall, we'll start feeding the bees. And one of the things we'll give them supplemental, go back this way, the sugar water. Oftentimes when we start a hive or when the pollen count starts going down, they'll start using sugar water, which the bees can feed on and use to continue raising or caring for their brood.
And it's so dry right now, all the bees can definitely